Japanese mechanics have used a $1 engine treatment for decades. It removes carbon deposits. Those deposits silently steal your mileage. A 2017 AAA study confirmed the science. Engines running low detergent fuel had 19 times more deposits. 19 times. One concentrated treatment delivers 150 times more cleaning power than premium gasoline. Your mechanic knows this chemistry exists. They charge $60 for it. Americans spend up to $300 a year on premium fuel markups chasing cleaner engines. The same chemical, the exact same molecule. It costs between $1 and $15 applied once. The gap is not incremental. It is orders of magnitude. By the end of this video, you will know the molecule by name, where to buy it, and exactly how to apply it yourself in under 10 minutes for both standard and direct injection engines. To understand why this works, you need to understand what is happening inside your engine right now. Welcome back. If you are new here, this channel exists for one reason. There's a gap between what institutions know and what consumers are told. That gap costs you money. Sometimes it costs you safety. We close that gap. We follow the money. We read the studies. We name the organizations. And we hand you the actual chemistry instead of the markup. If that sounds useful, subscribe. You are joining a community that does not accept trust your dealer as a research methodology. And to understand why this knowledge stayed in Japanese repair shops instead of American ones, we need to go back to 1995. In 1995, the Environmental Protection Agency did something that sounded responsible. They established a minimum detergent standard for all gasoline sold in the United States. Every gallon had to contain a baseline level of cleaning additives. On paper, this protected consumers. In practice, it destroyed them. Here is what happened. Before the standard, fuel companies competed on additive quality. Some brands advertised superior detergent packages. They spent money on better chemistry. The EPA minimum changed the economics overnight. A floor became a ceiling. If the government says this level is adequate, why would any company spend more? They didn't. Major fuel retailers reduced their additive concentrations to the EPA minimum, the cheapest compliant Formula One. By 2002, automakers noticed, engines were dirtier than they had been a decade earlier. Carbon deposits were accumulating on intake valves, fuel injectors, and combustion chambers at rates the engineers had not designed for. BMW noticed. General Motors noticed. Honda and Toyota noticed. They went to the EPA. They asked for higher standards. The EPA did not act. An insider at the American Petroleum Institute documented why oil companies rejected higher detergent levels. The reason was straightforward. The marketing advantage of cleaner fuel was not worth the cost of the additives. That is not speculation. That is a documented position from the industry's own trade organization. So the automakers did something unprecedented. In 2004, BMW, General Motors, Honda, and Toyota created their own fuel standard. They called it top tier. It required detergent levels 2 to 3 times higher than the EPA minimum. By 2007, Volkswagen and Audi had joined. Today, 11 major automakers endorse top-tier gasoline. The standard the government would not set. The people who build your engine set themselves. But here is the part that should bother you. Top tier is voluntary. No law requires any gas station to meet it. And a large share of American fuel still meets only the EPA minimum, the same inadequate standard from 1995. For over 30 years, your engine has been accumulating deposits on fuel that the people who built it told the government was not clean enough. Now let us talk about what those deposits actually do and the molecule that removes them. This video covers one technique from a much larger research archive. Inside the vault, you will find deep dives on fuel storage for extended grid-down scenarios, engine longevity protocols that fleet operators use but dealers never mention, emergency maintenance procedures that required no electricity, and water purification chemistry that predates modern infrastructure by centuries. No fluff, no filler, just the research. The link is in the description. But stay here, because the full step-by-step procedure and the scientific proof that makes it undeniable are still ahead in this video. Everything you need to act today is right here. Now, let us look at what modern science says about this molecule, because the numbers are not subtle. The molecule is called polyetheramine, PEA. Chevron introduced it in the 1980s. It has 3 properties that make it unique among fuel detergents. First, it survives combustion temperatures above 500 degrees Fahrenheit. Older detergent chemistries like polyetheramine break down at those temperatures. They clean the fuel injector, but disintegrate before reaching the combustion chamber. PEA does not. Second, it encapsulates carbon at the molecular level. Think of it as a chemical solvent that wraps around each carbon particle and lifts it off the metal surface. The deposit does not just loosen, it dissolves. Third, it cleans the combustion chamber itself, not just the intake path, the chamber where fuel actually burns. This matters because deposits in the combustion chamber increase compression ratios beyond design specifications. That causes knock. Knock reduces power. Your engine's computer pulls timing to compensate. You lose mileage. You lose performance. A PEA reverses that cycle. In 2017, the American Automobile Association published a study that made the industry uncomfortable. AAA tested gasoline meeting the EPA minimum standard against gasoline meeting top-tier specifications. The results were definitive. Engines running non-top-tier fuel accumulated 19 times more intake valve deposits. 19 times. That is not a marginal difference. That is a category difference. But here is what matters more for you today. AAA also tested whether those deposits could be reversed. Engines that switched from EPA minimum fuel to top-tier fuel showed a 45 to 72% reduction in existing deposits over 5,000 miles. The damage was not permanent. The chemistry reversed it. Now, let me walk you through a number that changes how you think about every dollar you have spent on premium fuel. The EPA minimum detergent standard is the baseline. Top-tier fuel contains 2 to 3 times that concentration. Shell V-Power, one of the most aggressively marketed premium fuels, contains up to 6 times the EPA minimum. Sounds impressive. Until you compare it to a single bottle of Chevron Techron Concentrate Plus poured into your tank. That bottle dwarfs the detergent concentration of any pump fuel. But even that is not the real number. CRCGDIIVD intake valve. Cleaner is sprayed directly into the intake manifold. It delivers PEA at 150 times the concentration of premium gasoline on the valve surface. 150 times. You have been paying 40 cents extra per gallon for premium fuel. That is roughly $6 per tank. Over a year, that is $150 to $300 for a detergent concentration that a $10 spray can exceed by 2 orders of magnitude. A patent-referenced study tested PEA at 3,200 parts per million on gasoline direct injection engines. These are the engines in most cars sold in the last decade. The result was a 23% reduction in intake valve deposits over 1,100 kilometers. On GDI engines, engines where fuel never touches the back of the intake valve, engines where standard tank additives at normal concentrations have zero effect on valve deposits. CRC, the manufacturer of the intake spray, documented 46% deposit removal in the first 60 minutes of application. 60 minutes. So the science is clear. The products exist. They're on store shelves right now. So why is your mechanic still charging you $60? Follow the money. It is never complicated. A bottle of Techron Concentrate Plus costs $8 to $15 at any auto parts store. Bought in bulk, PEA concentrate costs roughly $1 per treatment dose. A dealer fuel system cleaning service costs $60 to $150. That service uses the same chemistry, often a less concentrated version of it. Now think about the incentive structure. Your dealer sells a $60 fuel system cleaning every 15,000 miles. That is a recurring revenue line. Every car in their service bay is a potential sale. Why would they hand you an $8 bottle and say, do this yourself? They would be eliminating their own service category. Your gas station sells premium fuel at a 40 cent per gallon markup across every customer who believes premium means cleaner. Why would they stock a bottle next to the pump that makes premium unnecessary? And here is the structural reason no one markets the cheapest solution. PEA is a decades-old chemical class. No single company holds an exclusive patent on it. Multiple manufacturers produce it. There is no monopoly. There is no marketing budget behind the $1 version because there is no proprietary margin to fund it. The $60 version has a margin. The $300 a year premium fuel habit has a margin. The $1 treatment does not. Fleet maintenance operations figured this out years ago. Companies that manage hundreds or thousands of vehicles have direct cost accountability. But they do not pay for premium fuel across entire fleets. They do not send vehicles to dealers for $60 cleaning services. They use periodic concentrated PEA treatments because when your budget is audited, you use whatever works at the lowest cost. The incentive structure is honest. If this kind of breakdown is useful to you, subscribe so the next one reaches you. And if someone you know is overpaying for premium fuel or dealer services, share this. This is how this information spreads. Not through marketing budgets, through people. All right, the honest limitations. Because this is not magic. First, overdosing PEA can temporarily foul spark plugs. More is not better. Follow the dosage on the bottle. If you pour 3 bottles into one tank, you may create a short-term problem while solving a long-term one. Second, on very high mileage engines with heavy carbon buildup, a concentrated treatment can dislodge large deposits. Those deposits can cause brief rough running, misfires, or hesitation. This is temporary. But if your engine has over 100,000 miles and has never been treated, use a staged approach. Half dose first, drive 500 miles, then full dose. Let the chemistry work gradually. Third, this is critical. If you drive a gasoline direct injection engine, and most cars sold in the last 10 years, use GDI. Tank additives alone cannot clean your intake valves. In a GDI engine, fuel is injected directly into the combustion chamber. It never washes over the back of the intake valve. That means PEA in your fuel tank cleans your injectors and combustion chamber, but leaves your intake valves untouched. You need method 2, the direct intake spray. We will cover both. Fourth, PEA does not fix mechanical wear. If your piston rings are worn, if your valve seals are leaking, if your timing chain is stretched, no fuel additive changes that. This cleans deposits. It does not rebuild engines. Fifth, the 40% fuel economy improvement figure you may see cited online is a theoretical ceiling. It applies to severely carbonized engines that were running at dramatically reduced efficiency. Real-world gains for most drivers are 5 to 8%. That translates to 1 to 2 miles per gallon. Still meaningful, still worth the cost many times over. But manage your expectations honestly. Sixth, deposits reform. This is not a one-time fix. Fuel burns, carbon accumulates. Treatment must be repeated periodically. This is maintenance, not a miracle. Now that you know exactly what this can and cannot do, here is how to do it. Step by step. Method 1, fuel tank treatment. This works for all gasoline engines. It cleans fuel injectors and combustion chambers. On port-injected engines, it also cleans intake valves. Step 1, purchase a PEA-based fuel system cleaner. Recommended products include Chevron Techron Concentrate Plus, Redline SI, 1 complete fuel system cleaner, or Gummout Regain High Mileage. Cost is $8 to $15 per bottle. Check the label. The active ingredient must list polyetheramine. If you see polyisobutylamine or polyisobutyl listed as the primary ingredient instead, put it back. Those are older chemistries. They are less effective at combustion temperatures. Step 2, wait until your fuel tank is nearly empty. A quarter tank or less is ideal. Step 3, pour the entire bottle into your fuel tank before filling up. 1 bottle per tank. Do not double dose. Step 4, fill your tank completely with fuel. Top tier gasoline is preferable but not required. The bottle provides the cleaning concentration. The fuel is just the carrier. Step 5, drive normally for the first 10 minutes to let the treated fuel circulate through the system. Step 6, then drive at highway speeds for at least 30 minutes. Sustained RPM in the 2,000 to 3,000 range generates the heat needed for PEA to work optimally. City driving with constant stopping does not achieve the same combustion temperatures. Step 7, complete the full tank of treated fuel before your next fill-up. Do not dilute it with fresh fuel halfway through Step 8. Repeat every 5,000 to 10,000 miles as ongoing maintenance. That is roughly every 3 to 5 fill-ups for most drivers. Total annual cost is $16 to $45. Compare that to $300 in premium fuel or $60 per dealer visit. Method 2, direct intake spray. This is essential for GDI engines. It is the only way to clean intake valves on direct injection vehicles. Step 1, purchase CRCGD IIVD intake valve and turbo cleaner. Cost is $10 to $14 per can. This product delivers PEA directly to the intake valves at the concentration that matters. 150 times stronger than premium pump fuel on the valve surface. Step 2, locate your throttle body. On most vehicles, follow the large air intake hose from the air filter box to where it connects to the engine. That connection point is the throttle body. Your owner's manual shows its location. A 5-minute search online for your specific make and model will show you exactly where it is. Step 3, start the engine and let it reach normal operating temperature. This takes 3 to 5 minutes of idle. Step 4, have an assistant hold the engine at 2,000 revolutions per minute. If you're working alone, you can use a prop on the accelerator pedal or adjust idle speed. 2,000 revolutions per minute is critical. Too low and the engine stalls during application. Too high and the product passes through too quickly. Step 5, with the engine at 2,000 RPM, remove the air intake hose at the throttle body. Spray in short bursts of 2 to 3 seconds. Pause 5 seconds between bursts. The engine will stumble. That is normal. If it threatens to stall, let it recover before the next burst. Use approximately half the can. Step 6, after half the can is used, shut the engine off. Let it hot soak for 60 minutes. This is not optional. The soak time allows the PEA to dissolve deposits that the spray loosened. CRC documented 46% deposit removal during this 60-minute window. Step 7, restart the engine. Use the remaining half of the can with the same short burst technique at 2,000 revolutions per minute. Step 8. Immediately drive the vehicle at highway speeds for 15 to 20 minutes. You will see white or gray smoke from the exhaust. That is carbon leaving your engine. This is expected and temporary. The smoke confirms the treatment is working. Repeat the intake spray every 10,000 miles or at each oil change for GDI engines. This is not excessive. This is what the deposit accumulation rate on direct injection engines demands. That is it. That is the entire procedure. Now let me put this in perspective. In Japan, there is a vehicle classification that has existed since 1949, the Kei car. Engine displacement capped at 660 cubic centimeters, maximum output capped at 64 horsepower. These are tiny engines, a rated fuel economy of 20 to 28 kilometers per liter. Over 37 million Kei vehicles are registered in Japan. More than 50% of Japanese households own one. When your engine displaces 660 cubic centimeters, every fraction of efficiency is existential. You cannot afford carbon deposits stealing 5 to 8% of your output. Japanese maintenance culture treats decarbonization the way Americans treat oil changes. It is routine, it is expected, it is cheap, and it has been standard practice for decades. That culture produced the knowledge. AAA validated the science. The EPA's own regulatory failure explains why your engine needs it, and the products cost less than lunch. An $8 bottle, any auto parts store, 10 minutes, no tools for method 1. You do not need a mechanic, you do not need premium fuel, you do not need a dealer appointment, you need a bottle of PEA and a highway on-ramp. If someone you know is spending $300 a year on premium fuel because they think it keeps their engine clean, send them this video. If someone you know just paid $150 for a dealer fuel system service, send them this video. That is how this reaches people, not through ad budgets, through you. Next week, we are going inside the vault on a topic that connects directly to this one, long-term fuel storage chemistry, because knowing how to clean your engine means nothing if the fuel you store does not burn properly when you need it. Subscribe so you do not miss it. You now know the molecule. You know the method. You know the cost. And you know the institutional reasons no one told you before. That knowledge is yours now. Use it before your next fill-up.